What's up, family? Welcome to Ask to My Eyes.
Where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
One, two, one, two. One, two, one, two. My dog is bigger than hip hop. This right here is my patient wife. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you for speaking life to me. You know, speaking what you see me to be in the future.
Feel like you are patient?
He called me patient. That ain't what I am, but I appreciate it.
I see it in you, man.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. And this is my caretaker, my best friend, my love. How can you say? Oh. All right.
All right, y'all. We just wanted to, rap to you for a second about a recent experience that we had. And my wife, she has no idea what I'm about to say.
I don't.
But it really demonstrates how effective communication can lead to a better connection. Just recently, my wife and I, we had an experience where we were in the hospital with our oldest son. And our son has sickle cell anemia, which many of you all know. But he was there to get hip surgery. And on one particular evening, actually the evening before he was about to have the surgery, the evening after he had a surgery, we were trying to decide who would be there for him when physical therapy was to take place, because again, he had surgery, so he was sore, and physical therapy was supposed to be taking place the next day. And so my wife, she's the type of person who, she don't want to go through the process of, bending him or pushing him or, moving his body in a particular way, because, she, at the slightest ow or start to whimper, she just backs off and she's like, I can't do this to my baby. I can't do this to my baby. Whereas, if I'm, doing the exercises or the physical therapy with my son, I'm willing to push through. So even if he expresses, some pain or some tension or some frustration or shows some tears, I'll just keep on going, because, in order to get to the place that he wants to be, he has to go through the uncomfortability of, experiencing the pain and the, just the agony of what that whole thing is all about. So
I ain't built for it. Now with my children, Lord knows I ain't built for that.
so we had a decision to make. We had our 3 other children who were actually being watched by my mother-in-law, and my wife, she had wanted to leave the hospital to go home because, again, she didn't want to deal with the physical therapy the following morning.
Well, it wasn't. You're making it sound. We had to go pick up. Somebody had to pick up the kids.
Yeah,
if we didn't have to pick up the kids,
you would have stayed.
I would have stayed.
Yeah,
I wouldn't just trying to get away.
Yeah, that's true.
But when it came down to it,
you weren't trying to deal with it though.
Yeah, but when it came down to it, because somebody had to go pick up the kids, and we knew physical therapy was happening. Yeah, if you can't be with me, then it's just gonna be you.
Yeah. So here was the deal. So basically, we had a pretty lengthy conversation, and the conversation wasn't so much about the physical therapy piece as much as it was about my wife leaving.
Get to the point. What's your point?
It was probably about 9 o'clock at night. The hospital was probably about an hour and a half away from where we live, and we were in unfamiliar territory. And so
I wanted to leave.
My wife wanted to leave
in the evening that night instead of the morning.
Dark outside.
Because I didn't want to have to get up early and drive an hour plus in the morning. I wanted to do it that evening.
Yeah, so
my husband was like,
I was like, no, I wasn't feeling it.
I'm not comfortable with that.
And so let me just explain to you all, just
I
how we
really
roll.
Know where you're going with this.
It was interesting because we get a bunch of emails, a bunch of letters, and a bunch of different stuff, where people are like really trying to figure out this whole communication thing. But this is what happened. Iana, she puts the keys in her purse. I've expressed my, really agitation about her leaving so late at night, and I also expressed too that a thunderstorm was on the way. But she puts her keys in her purse, and I'm still wrestling with this thing because
okay, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I come from a family where, pretty much what my father says goes. And if he was to say to my mom, "No, you're not leaving," she wouldn't leave. And I'm not gonna say it's necessarily out of deference or respect, but a part of it is, and a part of it is based off of an understanding of how she feels is the best way to make her relationship work. And so my wife,
I come from a family.
She comes from a different type of family. So when I say,
what kind of family I come from?
Number one,
what kind of family I come from?
Number one, with my wife, I don't say that. You know, we have to have a discussion about whether or not it's appropriate, and I have to convince her and rationalize and, you know, engage in some type of circuitous method to help her to understand that it's probably not the best thing for you to leave. So there's a little bit of misogyny that goes on in order for me to help her to understand my point. But
I think it's important that people understand in terms of the family dynamics. It's important for you to assess your partner's family dynamic and what they grew up with versus what you grew up with, and not judge it, but just be aware of it, right? Because my husband said, you know, he told you how his went down. My mother and my mother is I mean, she's in her second PhD program right now, and she's out in the middle of the night. She spends the night out in school, okay, in the lab at school, and comes home at 6 o'clock and then leaves back at 9 o'clock to go back to school. You know,
her father ain't got no problem.
And he's like, "Okay, babe, you all right? Okay." And she's telling him this is what's happening, and he says, "Okay," and this is what I'm doing over here. Okay, and they keep it moving.
My father wouldn't be having it.
Yeah, so he comes from a totally different.
Maybe do a video about our upbringings too. You know,
but you know, and that's what I was saying to him. He was like, "Well, no, I just don't think you should go." And I was like, "What?" Because it's going to be a thunderstorm. It's going to be a what? A thunderstorm. You know who I am. You know, I know how to drive in a little bit of rain. Yeah. So, I was getting real special.
So, you know, I'm like really wrestling because, again, I'm not just dealing with my wife, but I'm also dealing with, you know, what I saw as a child in terms of.
Yeah, because you do want me to be like, okay.
So I'm dealing with all of that. You know, so it comes to a point where, you know, because I'm dealing with it so much, I realize that an extended conversation needs to occur. We need to really get some clarity. I need to feel comfortable. We need to reach an agreement. So it's now about 10 o'clock at night. We started this thing at 9. It's now about 10.
I said I'm getting ready to go in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go in a few minutes. So I step to the door and I say, "Can I speak with you outside for a moment?" So we step outside. So my wife's like, "What? Why? Why you want to talk to me? Why you want to talk to me outside the hallway?"
I didn't say it like that, did I?
Yeah. Now, granted, our son is laying in the hospital bed, so I'm not trying to have this conversation in front of him. But you know, I'm like, you know, can we step outside in the hallway and I want to talk to you about something. So I know she knows what I want to talk to her about. So she's like, "Where are my keys at?" She's like, "I'm gonna come outside the room with my keys." Because really, so me stopping outside the hallway.
Tell me what you gonna say on my way out the door.
So basically, I'm telling y'all all of this because, you know, I want y'all, again, to understand how effective communication can lead to better connection. While in the hallway, Iyanna and I were engaged in dialogue. We're discussing the situation. I'm making my point as to why I think she shouldn't go. She's making her point as to why she feels as though it's okay for her to go. Sometimes I'll interrupt her. She checks me and she says, "I'm speaking. Can you please allow me to finish?" I say, "Okay," and I'm quiet. She continues to speak. Then I start speaking. And then she might interrupt me. And we go back and forth. But we're engaged in this real conversation, y'all. You know, we give you advice on how to have effective conversation. But we also want to keep this thing real as well and let you know that when you're in the midst of really trying to discuss and bring home your point, sometimes it's hard to put that thing on mute. Sometimes it's hard to quiet your mind and really listen. But what I want you to understand is this, is that...
You were having a hard time.
Yeah, it was difficult. But the thing that you need to understand is that when you know the skills and when you have the skills, it's easier to apply the skills. So when my wife, when she brings up the fact that she's speaking, you know, can I allow her to continue to speak? Then what that does is it instantaneously sends a signal to me that, okay, I'm stepping over my boundaries. I'm crossing a line here and I need to be quiet. And so now I need to respect that. So all I'm saying is that we continue the conversation, going back and forth, keeping our voices at a relatively low point, moderating the energy in the conversation, the flow, and as a result, at the end of pretty much, I don't agree, but I'll do this for you. And so, again, we came to a meeting of the minds. Even though she didn't agree, we came to a meeting of the minds that she would sublimate her ego. She would stay at the hospital that night and then get up in the morning. We reached an agreement there. And consequently, for the remainder of the evening, our connection was a lot better. Versus if we had a real contentious conversation, versus if we were just battling back and forth. if I just said, no, you're not going, and just took the keys and didn't give her the keys, which a lot of people might do.
A lot of people don't want to go through the process.
They don't want to go through the
having
process.
The conversation.
That conversation was probably about like 30, 40 minutes out in the hallway.
I mean,
us
it
opening
sounds
up the
simple,
door,
but y'all know how it can be.
Yeah, us opening up the door and saying to our son, you know, give us a minute, baby. We about to come back in here. We're just trying to discuss a few things. So
it's really, like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, it's really a process, but you got to go through in order to get to. You got to go through the difficulty of having that conversation to get to the connection, the understanding that you really want to have. So again, you know, I say that to bring home the point that effective communication, real communication, communication with the intent to understand.
It doesn't even start until you begin to get into the conversation. I just really can't stress that enough, that there's so many people that we work with who really have a habit of avoiding the conversation, of tapping out, of rolling out, of saying, I'm done with it, I'm shutting down, it's over, I'm done, I'm done, I'm not dealing, I'm not talking. That's not going to get you anywhere. So you got to go through, like my husband said, in order to get to.
So, you know, again, we just hope that this particular video right here may help you in some sort of way to let you know you can make it through. It's okay to have those uncomfortable conversations. It's okay to be real in the midst of the conversation, but what you need is skills. Skills to really help you get through it, because it's hard as hell sometimes. You know, just talking to the one that you love, it's hard.
Because he just really wanted, you know, you just really wanted me to just be quiet.
I just wanted to shut it down. I just wanted you to be, okay, baby, just be quiet. Say, okay, baby. I will obey you. That's what I want.
You want me to say that?
I will obey you, sir. You know,
sir, I will obey you, sir.
That's what I want. But check this out, though.
Not happening.
For more tips and tricks on and really strategies on how to communicate better, we encourage you to get our Speak Love Right package, because, you know, we got 7 exercises plus 3 bonus exercises that will really have you communicating on a phenomenal level. It'll challenge you. I'll keep it real. It'll challenge you, but it will definitely elevate your communication game to the next level.
All right, y'all. We appreciate you. We appreciate the questions that come in. We appreciate all of the support that we have gotten, particularly over the last few weeks with our oldest son having surgery, and all of the support and love that people have shown us at penniesforasante.com for our campaign to raise money for our baby, our biggest baby, our oldest son.
Have we told him about that?
And get a transplant, a bone marrow transplant. You know, we got so many things going on. I don't know if we put a video on this particular YouTube channel. It might be on another YouTube channel that we have. But check out penniesforasante.com. Our oldest son, as you know, has sickle cell anemia. Some of you know, has sickle cell anemia. And we are raising money. We have an online campaign to raise money for his cure. Praise the Lord, because it's happening for his cure. And so if you're able to support us or spread the word, post it on your Facebook page, tweet it out, we'd appreciate it. We love y'all. Don't forget, stop playing, start pushing.